So lovely to have you back here at Timeless Textiles. Judy, it's wonderful. Congratulations on your new show.
Thank you, Anne. It's lovely to be back.
Down the creek, and look, it's beautiful.
Work of the last few years, all about Dora Creek, and where I live in Morisset. Dora Creek is just about a minute and a half's walk from where I live, and I wander down there and I amble about and I look at the birds and I take lots of photographs. And Dora Creek's been my muse for about 14 years, ever since I moved from Sydney up to Morisset. And I find it really intriguing. And what I like most about the creek is the linear patterns that you get on water, from light and movement of water and the change in the seasons and the changes day by day, because it can be quite incredible that you get a rainy sort of dark day one day and a lovely sunny bright day the next. So really that's what all of this work is about.
Yes, you've reflected each of the seasons, it seems to me, in various times of days in each of the artworks in this exhibition.
Yeah. I have. I mean, I think the two main series over the last few years have been the creek drawing series, which is really about making marks on cloth, either with paintbrushes or plant material, so it's sort of painted surfaces. And the Rainy Day Dora Creek series, which I've used discharge techniques on cotton fabrics to give the effect that I wanted. And this particular one behind me is Rainy Day Dora Creek number 10. And with this I've discharged the fabrics. I like to put fabric out on large pieces and draw directly onto the fabric with bleach using a bottle or a brush. And I make a number of different pieces of fabric, and when I've made them, then I decide which ones I'm going to collage together. This has elements of a traditional pieced quilt, in that it's really a very large full patch composition. And once the pieces have been made, they're very intensively stitched. This piece uses a sort of a repetitive zigzag stitch, lots and lots of metres of thread, hundreds and hundreds of metres of thread going across and back again. And then when I want to emphasise an area, I will stitch more heavily. So I like to use a combination of different colours. Considering all these fabrics started off as black fabrics, it's quite interesting how the thread work kind of changes the colour of the piece too. This piece is creek drawing number 11, and it's autumn, and the creek in autumn has this really beautiful rich golden deep brown colour in the late afternoon. And what I tried to do with this particular quilt was capture that. This one again has been discharged. This time the black fabric revealed an orange base, which is quite different to having a white base in the fabric. And again, I've made pieces, cut them up, played with the composition of them. Then I put them back together again and painted over the surface of them with some gold paint. And then that piece is very intensively quilted with matchstick quilting in vertical lines.
And you used 2 or 3 different colours, didn't you, in that quilting?
The quilting was a variegated thread, which is normally not what I don't normally use a variegated thread, but for this particular quilt it really worked well because it goes from sort of an orange to a green, and you get lovely little touches of the red-orange going through the quilt as well. So yeah, to me that was very indicative of autumn, late autumn, a lovely sunny autumn afternoon on the creek. This creek is another in the creek drawing series, it's number 14. And with this particular quilt I used, again, commercial fabrics, but instead of using black fabric, I had a range of commercial blue fabrics, each of which is being discharged to begin with. The way this quilt came about was me taking photographs down the creek, and with those photographs I cropped them and I printed out a number of them and then collaged them together till I had a composition that I I was happy with. And from that photographic collage, then I did a series of drawings so that each individual section of the quilt was drawn up, very loosely drawn up. But I used those drawings as references for creating the different blocks in this piece. And the techniques I've used here are the discharge, which you can see in the various fabrics. Each one discharges slightly differently, and I tried to get that effect of water. And then I have used a deconstructed screen printing process to create the lines. And what I do with that is draw directly onto the silk screen with water-soluble crayons, oil-based water-soluble crayons as well, and water-soluble pencils, anything that will make a mark and come through the screen. And then I use a textile medium to screen each piece off. And then the pieces are put together in a composition. I had a fair idea of which was going to go where, but I always make extra pieces because I like the option of being able to move things around. So once all of these blocks were made and arranged how I wanted them, I then sewed them all together and then quilted them with blue thread. This again is matchstick quilting, very close quilting, less than 5mm, lines less than 5mm apart. But I like that spontaneity of the individual mark. I think drawing was always what I was most interested in, and I think I've captured that essence of liveliness that happens down the creek with this one. The creek drawing number 8. And this is unusual for me that it's pastel colours, but what inspired me was the fact that in the late afternoon one day when I went for a walk down the creek, it was a beautiful, another one of those golden afternoons, and it was a beautiful sunset, and there were touches of pink in the water. And I had been making some quite heavy, very dark quilts, and when I made this one I just wanted to lighten up. I used plant material out of my garden. Instead of a paintbrush, the plant material was dipped in acrylic paint and dipped in ink, and then I drew directly onto the fabric with this plant material. I like the accidental things that happen when you work that way. What if I do this? What if I do that? What sort of result will I get? And again, it's one of those pieces where I made a number of pieces of fabric, and then when I had a good supply of them, I rearranged them until I got the effect that I wanted. So the whole effect of this is a much gentler, calmer, a softer quilt, but it was that particular time of day in that late afternoon with that late sun shining on the creek that inspired it.
Congratulations on this extraordinary show. It's such a privilege to have you showing here in Timeless Textiles. Every time your work graces the walls, they're beautiful. Thank you. It's wonderful to have you here again.
Thanks, it's lovely to be back here.
Great.